Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. This is the Large Guys podcast. More specifically, this is another edition of the Large Guys Fight Bytes. We're here to talk about UFC 261 that's taking place this Saturday, April 24th on, I think, ESPN Plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Pay-per-view. Well,
pay-per-view. Obviously, I won't be watching it on ESPN
yeah.
Plus
I
per
mean,
se.
not to advocate any illegal activities, but let's just say that, we never pay for any pay-per-view fights, whether if it's UFC, other MMA productions, boxing matches, it doesn't matter if it's on the Zone, Showtime. For some reason we never really pay for it, but we're here to tell y'all that we've watched all of it, like
Yeah.
every fight that's been out there, every Canelo fight, every Fury fight, you name it. Like any combat sports biggest fight, we just magically end up watching it for some reason without ever having to pay for pay-per-view. So that's just to throw it out there, not to promote any illegal activity, but it's kind of funny because Uncle Dana ain't really mentioned anything about the
I
streamers
know, recently,
like
yeah.
these past few pay-per-views. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think the last time he was going on and on about it was the Izzy and Jan Blachowicz fight, but that's been what, like a month already?
Yeah, that was a while back. I mean, he was really trying to crack down during the McGregor fight, and rightfully so, because it's
Mhm. I
Dustin
mean,
versus Connor. That was a huge fight. But other than that, Uncle Dana's been I guess he's been pretty content with how streaming activities has been happening these past few pay-per-views. So
yeah, and I think even maybe with this one specifically, now that he's actually gonna get ticket sales from a live crowd,
yeah.
maybe it's balancing out the loss
Just
of
yeah.
money from
Yep.
streamers, but he's getting money from fans now.
Yeah, I
Do
think
you know how many tickets they plan to sell?
I don't know. I saw that it was like either 15K or 22K.
Okay. Is that
Yeah.
a sold out for wherever they're fighting at, or?
Yeah, I mean every Uncle Dana said that every time he's fighting in a stadium, he'll sell it out. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure whatever the law or the world allows, he's like maximized that potential. Come on now. So
Yeah.
but for you, how do you feel about this upcoming pay-per-view, knowing that that an actual, I mean, there was a live crowd during the Abu Dhabi fights, like when
Mhm.
Max Holloway fought
Yeah.
against Cater, there was a crowd, and I think, and for sure, the Connor and Dustin fight had a crowd, but
Mhm.
I guess this will definitely be the biggest crowd, since the pandemic really took into full effect. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that? This upcoming weekend.
I think it'll be exciting. I think it just gives you a bigger level of excitement knowing that there's you're I just being able to hear a crowd. Like when I was watching like WrestleMania, they had like 50K in the Tampa Bay stadium, and that's not like full capacity at all, but like you could really feel the energy. Like when was it when Tamina was wrestling? Like obviously, that's not like a big deal, but the crowd was actually like chanting her name, making it a big deal. And so it made that match that she was in on night two feel actually like important. And so, not that none of these fights are going to not feel important, but it's going to feel even bigger than it already is. And especially like when, um, when the fighters are being introduced during the walkouts and stuff, like it's just been like silence. And so to have that energy during those parts and then also during the fights, I think it's going to be even more special than what we're used to seeing. And it's only meant to enhance a UFC card. Like a UFC card is always going to be a banger, regardless.
For sure.
But I think this is going to be even bigger, and it's just gonna feel even bigger than a lot of the fights that have taken place over the past year or so.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think that there it was no coincidence that when that a full capacity crowd will be watching this weekend, because it's such a such a stack card from just top to bottom, especially in the main card. So they had to take advantage of that opportunity. Three title fights, and ain't no better way than to have a full size stadium, to witness history and greatness. And it's just kind of crazy that we're gonna get to see that just a little over a year after
Yeah.
COVID really shocked the world. And so a lot of people might think it's funny how slowly but surely um society, especially here in America, started to have mixed feelings towards live events, right? Maybe if they did this, you know, in January, like to start off this year,
Hmm.
maybe there'd been more backlash. But I think that the fact that there's been uh, quite a handful of Americans that's already been vaccinated here in the United States, and the fact that it is in Florida kind of makes it more acceptable, I guess. Not that you know we're trying to downplay being safe and all, but Florida. If you're an American, you just understand that Florida's a different breed,
Hmm.
and that they're just built different over there, so you could do basically whatever you want to do there anyways. But for me, I'm personally excited because um the crowds, I think, they're what makes certain events in sports history. And as both a sports fans, me and you, we witness a handful of championships. And whether it was team championships or individual championships this past calendar year, we witnessed a bunch of them. But the level of professionalism and quality of skills are still there, but you can definitely just feel the different energy when there's a huge crowd of people watching those moments live. And
Hmm.
so to have the crowds back this weekend, I'm excited for me as a fan to just see how the production of the pay-per-view will go. And then for the fighters, because I'm not gonna lie, and rightfully so, because some of the fighters that I've seen or you've just witnessed this past year, they've said that it's really hard to fight. I mean, in any other sport, I guess you could kind of get away with it, but every sport, basically, you need a little bit of energy from the crowd, but especially in it's really just oh dang! I guess my never mind. I guess there was a small internet disconnection and
Yeah, you're
my
good.
mic got cut off. All right, but but when it comes to combat sports, especially, when it's really just you between another person in that ring or cage, you need any extra amount of leverage that you could get to get through that. And so I'm excited for me, and I'm also excited for the fighters. And yeah, I think it'll just be a banger event. And
Hmm.
so, I mean, moving forward, I guess we'll just talk about each one of the fights, from bottom to top, from the bottom of the main card all the way to the main event of the card. And I'll just give you my thoughts and previews, I guess. And then if you have any questions, anything that you want to bounce off,
Yep.
just shoot away. So
Mm.
I guess the first fight in the main card is going to be a light heavyweight bout in the men's division, and it's going to be Anthony Smith, the Lionheart, versus Jimmy Crute. And everybody that follows the UFC knows that Anthony Smith, he's made a name for himself the past few years, because he had the title fight with John Jones. And it wasn't that he got completely destroyed or anything, but after that title fight, when he had a little bit of spotlight, he kind of went through a couple of obstacles, because he beat Gustafsson after that, but then he went on a two fight losing streak. He lost to Glover, and then he lost to Rakic, and which there's really um there's no shame in that
Yeah,
because
respectable guys he fought.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rakic and Glover are pretty good light heavyweight contenders. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of doubted Anthony Smith in his last fight. He fought some dude named Devin Clark or something, and I don't think Clark was ranked um, a ranked contender or anything, but he was out there, making a win streak, and so I kind of doubted Anthony Smith, but he came out, closed that fight pretty quickly. So Anthony Smith, he's ranked number 6, and Jimmy Crute is ranked 13. Personally, I as far as the fight goes, um, I'm excited to watch this fight because anytime it's the main card, it's just exciting, anyways. But it's more exciting when there's ranked contenders actually fighting, and anytime there's ranked contenders fighting each other in the same division, it's important. Um, not just for the sport, but for that certain division of how that division will move forward. And so a lot of people, not a lot of people, from just what I've seen online on YouTube or on Twitter, a lot of people respect Jimmy Crute. There you can't get a number next to your name if you haven't had any impressive wins. But for me personally, seeing that Jimmy Crute is younger, he's younger than us. He's a
Oh,
96 guy.
really?
Yeah, he's a
Oh, he's really
96
young.
guy. And but the dude's Australian, so there's something about them Australian dudes that, they're fighters. Every Australian fighter in the UFC, they're pretty respectable. So you can't really you can't really, not approach this as a serious fight if you're Anthony Smith. But just from my take, I think Anthony Smith wins just because he's been in the UFC for a minute. He's faced world class contenders. I mean, he's fought John Jones, and everyone else he's fought are basically title contenders. So, um, even though he hit a bit of a rough patch, I still think that he's still one of the elite light heavyweight guys. Um, and it just showed on how quickly he finished his last opponent on the ground.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Smith definitely he's like a different type of like light heavyweight, right? He's like a little bit more of like a hybrid type rather than like I think a lot of the light heavyweights right now that are ranked are like big time like brawlers, like heavy hands and stuff. And he's kind of like on the quicker, lighter side. So that's going to be, I mean, the styles makes fights thing is going to be interesting because Kurt's probably going to be loading up for that knockout blow. So that'll be interesting to see if, um, because that's Kurt's main game plan. Be interested to see how Smith, game plans around that. If his defense is going to be on point, because like if he gets caught especially early, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah.
So
No,
um,
I was gonna say that was actually a pretty good observation. Now that I, took into that fact that Anthony
mhm.
Smith, he does, um, his physique and the way his style is a
Yeah,
lighter
he's
light
like slim.
heavyweight.
Yeah,
Yeah, because if you compare it to the other dudes he's fought before on actual fight night, they don't look like light heavyweights.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Anthony Smith still looks like his little slim self, and so that's actually a pretty good observation. And
Mhm.
I think that plays into a factor on how he handles those
Yeah.
punches from these light heavyweight dudes. But
Uh-huh, yeah.
bro, Jimmy Crute probably a
He's
heavyweight into fight night, bro.
yeah, yeah. He's probably walking around like normally probably like 230 or something, like
Yeah,
some
easily. So yeah,
way
that's a
above
good
the weight limit.
observation. But yeah, anyways, keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's mainly what I was going to talk about, and I wonder too. I mean, it's only 3 rounds, but I mean as opposed to a 5 round fight, but I'd be wondering too to see if his body can hold up the later it goes in, and how much Crute is gonna really like stand in and fight, like or is Smith just gonna try to keep distance?
Yeah, for sure.
away from, especially I think the body punches are going to be a big factor if that's what Crute tries to go towards.
Yeah, I also expect Anthony Smith not only to use his grappling and his ground game, but how we talked about his slimmer physique earlier. I think that Jimmy Crute ain't really seem like the type of guy that'd be throwing high head kicks
Yeah,
or
yeah,
any
yeah, yeah,
type
yeah.
of kicks for that matter. So if I were Anthony Smith, I would probably utilize his height and length, and his quick. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a little quicker than
Hmm.
Jimmy on fight night. So I would use not just striking. I think when it comes to hands, I think Crute may have the advantage,
Yeah,
but Anthony Smith, he's a veteran there, and I think he should mix it up. But once again, yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like not to say that Jimmy Crute ain't skilled, because every
yeah,
fighter
yeah,
that stepped in an octagon got to be skilled, but certain times you can just tell that sometimes having the right arsenal ain't really what wins the fight. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
Anthony Smith has all the right tools, but all Jimmy Crute, like, see, it's funny how it's like, would you rather have, the one the one punch power, like, for sure weapon, or like the different type of arsenals.
Yeah, it's
So
tough,
no, that's been
especially at,
it's
at their at their weight class.
yeah,
It's
for
it
sure.
makes a lot more of a difference than like the featherweights.
Yeah.
If there's just one dude trying to load up punches, but he's probably still quick and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, no. So I'm pretty excited. I'm telling you, yeah, the main card of this
yeah,
bit, like, I mean, there's the three title fights, but I think those two other non-title fights is pretty gonna be pretty exciting.
yeah.
So
They have a lot of consequences too, because I would assume if Smith wins and he maybe picks up one more, then he's probably in
yeah,
that title
yeah, another title shot
conversation.
opportunity. Why not?
Yeah,
I mean, if Anthony Smith wins, I would like to see him fight Dominic Reyes. That'd be
yeah,
cool.
that'd be good. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, but it'd be kind of fun. See, that's what suck. If he does lose, I don't know. Like, I don't think Jimmy Crute should automatically be the number 6 guy, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
top 10 probably.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it'll definitely be an exciting. But I got Anthony Smith via unanimous decision. What do you think?
Yeah. I'll do the same. Unanimous decision for Smith.
And so after that fight, we're going to go to a middleweight bout, and it's going to be between two pretty well known names in the game, if you've been following UFC for a while.
Hmm.
And if you didn't know, this next fight has some history behind it. So it's going to be Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman, former champion, in a middleweight bout. And, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that, Hall's knocked out Weidman before. I think,
Actually, I watched it on the UFC thing. Other way around. Weidman knocked out Uriah in like a local, like New
was
York
it?
fight.
Hold on,
Yeah.
let me check real quick, because uh I think Hall did beat. Let me see real quick, because I was looking at Uriah Hall's record, and I think he might have been, no, I think he might have beaten him, but let me just double check. Maybe if I
Yeah,
didn't.
I'm not sure about like in the UFC if they fought, but if you're talking about before UFC, the video I watched, it was Uriah was the champ, and he wasn't. He got caught by a shot that Weidman threw.
Oh man, I am tripping. Yeah, no, I messed up. Sorry, my fellow Fight Bytes fan. I mean, it's probably just Kyle and Jeremy listening to these.
Probably.
But yeah, I messed up. I saw a highlight reel of Hall earlier, and for some reason, I thought of it's Musasi, and he's not even close to being Weidman. But Musasi right now, he's the current middleweight champion for Bellator. So when I saw that, I don't know why I thought of Weidman for some reason. It's Musasi that Uriah Hall's like fought multiple times, and so. But yeah, actually, this is, yeah, first UFC fight. Scratch that long history. My bad, people. I'm tripping. But I mean, that makes it even a better case. I'm more excited now, actually, knowing that this is the first time they're fighting, because they're two middleweight guys that's been in division for a while, and
Wow, yeah.
both fighters have gotten names or have gotten wins over some, some
Hmm.
legendary names in the game. And
Hmm.
one
His name
thing,
legend too.
yeah. So one thing I will say is that is one thing they have in common is that they both beat Anderson Silva, and
Hmm.
Chris Weidman famously for the first Silva fight when Anderson was being cocky, knocks out Anderson, and ever since then Anderson hasn't been the same. And
Hmm.
even the rematch, unfortunately Silva broke his leg against
Oh,
Weidman, but that's still two wins
yeah.
against arguably the middleweight goat in the UFC. So
Hmm.
Weidman, he has a pretty impressive resume. Granted, he got knocked out by Luke Rockhold, but it is what it is. It's the fight game. But Uriah Hall's, had some good fights too. He's, that he's had one of the most devastating knockouts in the tough and the
Yep.
Ultimate Fighter history.
Yes.
So, um, this is tough. Dang. Now that I'm actually giving it some thought. I don't know why I thought Hall already beat Weidman, but now that it's their first time fighting, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll make a decision after
Okay.
you give your thoughts because I don't know what my pick would be right now. Let me
Uh-huh.
take some time to digest.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a very interesting fight. The video I was watching that UFC put out, it was like the countdown video. Apparently, they're both New York based fighters. And again, I don't know what promotion it was. It was a much smaller promotion, local promotion they were fighting. Uriah Hall was a champ at the time. He was like undefeated. And Weidman was he was still, they were both basically still upstarts. And whoever won that fight not only was going to be the champ for that promotion, but was
Mm-hmm.
automatically going to get a UFC contract. And Weidman was the one who went on to win it. And that's the reason why Uriah Hall had to go on tough about a year
Ah,
later, I think. Yeah, so
dang.
there's a lot of history,
Yeah, that then there you
and
go. That's the history then.
yeah,
I wasn't completely wrong, but I was
so
a little wrong, but
lots of good history. I'm not sure. I haven't followed much of like the build to this. I'm not sure, how emotional their relationship is this many years later. But I think Uriah Hall definitely started off as from when he was on Tough, he was doing these like devastating knockouts, and then he eventually lost. And you could tell that after he like nearly murdered somebody on TV, he kind of held back a little bit, and I think he talked about in interviews, and that's something that Dana also talked about is that like sometimes Uriah Hall is too soft now, or he's not willing to go in for the kill, especially like following Tough in his next few bouts, which really hurt him. And there are people even talking about him getting released just because he wasn't doing the job that he needed to do. But I think over the last couple years, he has just become more comfortable and mature as a fighter. And you definitely saw that in the Anderson Silva fight too, because knowing what potential he has in terms of like devastating knockouts, I was very scared for Anderson Silva, especially knowing it was going to be his last fight. I was like, I don't want to see 40-year-old Anderson Silva get nearly murdered, right? But Uriah Hall did what he needed to do. He stopped him. And I'm really excited to see what his full potential can be in this middleweight, right? They're middleweights.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the middleweight division, especially with some of the up and coming contenders as well in that class. And so for that reason, and Chris Weidman's beloved. I mean, when he beat Anderson Silva, like that was a huge deal. And so he's definitely beloved in this weight class. I believe he went up to light heavyweight for a little bit, right?
I'm not sure, but I
I
mean,
know Rockhold did, but I want to say
mhm.
Weidman did for a little bit and then came back down. But regardless, big fan of both guys. But I do want to see Uriah Hall become a championship contender, be in that type of situation. So I'm actually going to say Uriah Hall wins by knockout in the second round.
That's actually not a bad prediction. I mean, seeing that you know he's had a catalog of knockouts, and then
Hmm.
Weidman ain't really have a good track record of having a pretty good chin, anyways.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm leaning towards the same boat because personally, I like Hall more as a fighter. Because Weidman, seeing that he's already become champion and all that. He just gives me, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just literally judging them based on superficial things, and maybe if there's a Chris Weidman fan account on MMA Twitter that hears this, they'll probably attack me. But Weidman just gives me just like frat boy vibes,
Yeah.
and I don't know, man. I mean, not that to say he's a bad guy. He might be a better man than I am because he's in mixed martial arts. You got
Yeah.
to be somewhat respectful to be in martial arts. So he already more respectful than I am. But Hall, I get what you said earlier about the mentality change ever since that devastating. It's funny how his win is considered devastating because
Hmm.
of what could have happened.
Yeah.
But can you blame the guy? I
Yeah.
mean, dude,
Exactly.
if I'm not the strongest man in the world, but I firmly believe sometimes that if I punch just any human being in the face as hard as I can, then I don't know, man. That person might be fighting for their lives. I'm not saying I'm strong. I'm just saying that, just being, knocked out like that can result to real life consequences. And if that happened to me, I'd be pretty, I would have PTSD too. So I don't blame Uriah Hall for, I'm not considering him soft, but at the same time, this is the fight game. You know, it's either you getting knocked out or the other
Hmm.
person. So
Yeah.
I understand what everyone also says, but I like Uriah Hall more for that fact that he shows that the true heart of a true martial artist is that you don't really want to inflict true damage and pain to
Right.
somebody.
Right.
But I might agree with you that I don't think this fight will go the distance. Somebody will get knocked out. But it's funny because I saw an interview because I think Chris Weidman went on Ariel Hawani's show, and that fool, he was like his game plan is to win this fight, win the title, and ride off in the sunset. Boy, this fight, whoever the winner of this fight is, hey, just take the good, nostalgic dub.
Yeah.
Whoever wins this fight, just take the dub as a nostalgic, win, a nice stroll on memory lane because none of those two guys going to compete with any of the middleweight contenders.
Yeah. Like,
Not against,
yeah.
yeah. So I
Too many
mean,
guys in the way.
yeah, I mean, Costa's already demolished Hall. I think Weidman probably. I think he might have lost to Gastelum or something. But
And Whitaker's next. So,
yeah. So yeah, I mean, whoever wins this middleweight bout, just be happy that you're still in the UFC promotion. That y'all are household names that can still make the main cards. Because y'all ain't competing for a title. Reality check.
yeah.
None of those dudes stand a chance against Izzy or any of Whitaker, shoot, or Vittori, or literally shoot.
Oh,
Maybe
Vittoria's here. Yeah. I forgot about him.
if one of those dudes fight Kevin Holland next, since Kevin
That
Holland's
would be good.
been on a losing streak because he's been
Yeah.
fighting elite contenders. Maybe he needs a trip back to old, like, I mean, like, because these guys Weidman and Hall's basically like Jacare's like class, like his
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
So give Kevin Holland one of those
That would
dudes,
be good.
whoever
Yeah.
win. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I'm leaning more towards Hall too in a knockout. I don't know when, but it'll be a finish. And but that one it'll be fun. Both dudes are like physical specimen, like
Mm.
as
Oh,
far
yeah.
as body type wise.
Yeah.
I will give them props for that. But yeah, I got Hall winning too, and but it'll be a banger. So that's the middleweight bout, and so now moving on to the third fight of the main card, and it's this is when things get a little heated.
Oh,
Things are
yeah.
going. I mean, the main card already been a banger at this point, I'm sure, but at this point of the night on Saturday. But after this fight, see, I don't know. I don't think that this fight will be the most electric fight of the night. But for me, excuse me. But for me personally, this will be the fight that I'll be most emotionally invested in
Okay.
because you probably thought I'd be more invested in Zhang Weili, right? all you racist people, just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just wanted it to be controversial, but no, like I'm a huge Valentina fan. Like
Yeah.
I love Shevchenko. I think after she becomes a UFC fighter, she'll be the next biggest movie star, in my opinion. Just because, like real life special agent. If there was a super, like she's really what Black Widow is in real life, you
Yeah.
know. But this fight will be a banger because number one, it'll be for the title, but number two, it'll be against two champions. I mean, Andrade, Jessica
Hmm.
Andrade, Valentina's opponent. She's well known, obviously, in the UFC
Yeah.
world as well. She's former strawweight champion. She beat Rose Namajunas, and she's had some good wins under her belt. So personally, I do think that this will be Valentina's biggest challenge yet in her career. I mean, but not in her career because Shevchenko's fought Amanda Nunes
Nunes, yeah.
twice, and she's the only person in the world who's come close to
Uh-huh.
even beating Nunes or even challenging her.
Hmm.
So, and Jessica Andrade, she got knocked out by current champ Zhang Weili, but
She got
that
knocked
was
out
in a lot.
bad.
Yeah, but that was in a lighter division. I
Right.
do think Jessica Andrade has said that she feels better at 125, and I believe
I
her
did see that, yeah.
because her legs, I mean, she reminds me of my body. I mean, I'm not the most fit dude in the world, but like her body type is like me because I'm more like I ain't tall, but like majority of my body I feel like is in my thighs, and
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
her thighs are just massive, and
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
um I've seen a handful of comments saying that a lot of MMA fans have been downplaying this matchup between Valentina and Jessica Andrade and saying that I do believe that there's levels to it, but people are just counting out Andrade like she's some scrub. And so I'm personally worried because I'm always worried about, when Valentina fights, and especially after her last fight against Maya when she was a heavy favorite and then she didn't even finish Maya.
Hmm.
And so that, I mean, maybe I'm just having recency bias and, I forget about all the one hit, you know, kicks and punches that Valentina's done. But I'm worried as a Valentina guy. I'm worried about this fight, but I do think that with Valentina being the champ, her being through, because every champion, man, who's had multiple title defenses, they know what's up. They know what this game is about. And Valentina ain't just trying to win; she's chasing greatness as her legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I guess it's just natural for me to feel that way. And I guess maybe for every fight fan, every time one of the greats step into the ring, because in the fight game, it truly is, anybody's game once it's just two people in there. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? But seeing just Valentina's greatness, I think she wins, but I don't think it'll be a knockout. I might go decision again like the last fight, but I mean, I hope that she finishes her, but I don't know. I think, Jessica Andrade, she ain't one to be taken lightly. She's
Oh
a
yeah.
former champ. She's Brazilian. Anytime somebody's Brazilian in the fight game, you got to take him seriously, not to, do any stereotypes, but I guess it's a positive stereotypes if there
Yeah.
is one. But but I don't know. I'm definitely I'll definitely be really nervous. I'll be the most nervous about this fight. What about you?
Yeah, this is Valentina's so much fun to watch for sure. She's probably I think Nunes is probably like my favorite women's fighter right now. And then Valentina's like she's like the 1A to Nunes's one. And a lot of it is because of the respect I have from her when they fought twice. Like you said, no one has really come close. I guess ever since like the new Amanda Nunes, like
Yeah,
because I mean
yeah,
she had losses before she became champ, but once she became the double champ, especially
yeah,
like she was running through people.
yeah, for sure.
and so she hit that. She had just like another level that she's been at, and only Valentina's come close. And whether they ever fight again or not, their legacies are always going to be matched up next to each other, even though they're in different weight classes. Um, but I think it's going to be a very tough fight for sure. Andrade, she was already knocking fools out at a lighter weight in the straw weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because she feels more comfortable at 125, because I also saw that I saw a little clip. She talked about that. She's like I like 135, but I like 125 better. And so she's walking in at a very comfortable weight. I believe she knocked out the first person she fought at 125.
Yep, number one contender, Caleb.
Yeah, and so that was already like a pretty big shock there. And so definitely not one to take lightly. I think they're gonna have a good back and forth. I think Valentina might stop her. If she stops her, it would probably be like third or fourth round. Like I think this fight's gonna go pretty long. And it's just, yeah, maybe one of Valentina's kicks catches her, because I mean it's not like Andrade is immune to getting knocked out. Like we saw her get knocked out in
Mhm.
in like 30 seconds
Yeah.
against someone who's also very proficient at kicking and
Mhm.
striking. So yeah, I think I have Shevchenko winning. Not dismissing Andrade, because Andrade, she's legit. She's like a
No,
little Wolverine,
no, for sure. They're both women fighters are fully equipped in the
Yeah,
fight game. There's
yeah.
really, you can't say that that either has a ground weakness or a
Hmm.
striking weakness. Like they're
Hmm.
both dogs on the feet and on the ground, and so it's just a
Yeah,
matter of who executes which plan, at the right time. And yeah,
yeah. So definitely have Valentina winning, but yeah, Andrade does have that. She does have a quickness advantage, and she like kind of bounces back and forth. Like with her stance, she's always like light on her toes. So that'll be an interesting thing to see Shevchenko have to deal with, because this is probably one of the more like mobile fighters she's had to fight in a while. So that'll be an interesting one too, and interested to see how much they go to the ground, because Valentina's definitely she's been trying to improve her ground game, like fight after fight. So I'll be interested to see how it kind of plays out. But I still think Valentina can stop her, maybe the third or fourth round.
yeah, for sure. And I think maybe if there was a time for Valentina to put on a vintage performance, it should be this card.
Yeah,
Because if I were her, not to say that Rose and Zhang Weili aren't deserving of the co-main event. I think in terms of name power, those two names combined
yeah,
does have a little bit more of a weight compared to these two. But I think Shevchenko is obviously the bigger star between those two, title
individually.
contenders. So,
Yeah,
um, I would, can you imagine Amanda Nunez not co-main eventing? And
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
if I were Shevchenko, I'd take that a little more personal, but I'm excited just to see her. It's I don't know. The Masvidal, because obviously a majority of this pay-per-view sales will probably be in China, number one. I don't know if I don't know how what their service is there, but Masvidal is probably the biggest draw to the casual ears and eyes.
hmm,
But Shevchenko, like she's a superstar, and if there is a time for more people to hop on to her stock and bandwagon, I hope that she gets bigger after this weekend. But goodness,
yeah.
if she loses, I don't know, man. I'll be more devastated than the Korean Zombie and Mighty Mouse loss if she loses. I just can't take it, bro. Like, please, like, just don't do it to me, please, Valentina. Please win. Like, I just can't. But if she loses, I guess it's just whatever. It's just live. But I'm really rooting for her. I'll be stressed. Um, but I'm excited nonetheless because she's an all-time great, and it's always a pleasure to watch an all-time great, whether we pay for it or not. But I guess without further ado, we'll move on. Oh yeah, so the Valentina and Andrade fight is the fight for the women's flyweight title. So that'll be at 125. And now moving to the co-main event, but a weight class down, we get to the highly anticipated strawweight title fight between the champion Zhang Weili and former champ Thug Rose Namajunas. And personally, I think this might be. I know that I said last fight will be the one I'll be most emotionally invested in, but now I think that this will be the fight of the night.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
This fight between Zhang Weili and Rose Namajunas will be the fight of the night because both fighters, like if they do, like both fighters are known for finishing their fights, but if they don't finish their fights, they are bangers. Like
Mhm.
somebody's face is going to be deformed, like one way or another. And I'm actually glad because for me, I'm cool. Like I have no dog in this fight. People be like, "Why don't you root for Zhang Weili or Filipino?" I don't care about that in this matter because sometimes I just don't feel like being that. I don't know. I don't know what it is, right? Sometimes, do you feel that way too? Because I'm
I
sure,
think it depends. Yeah.
being a sports fan, like, you know, like you're not a Tottenham Hotspurs fan just because Son is one of the
Yeah.
greatest players right now. You're
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like for me, it's like I do love Son. He's Korean. They're close to the Philippines. But I know Mo Salah and Sadio Mane are more elite players at this
Yeah.
point right now.
Yeah.
It's just, and so I don't know. Like, so for this one, people are like, why aren't you going to root for Rose? You're American. I'm like, I know. I know. That's crazy, right? I'm just kidding. That I could just flip the script. I guess that's my privilege.
Yeah.
A brown skinned guy in America. But anyways, aside all race cards aside and identity politics aside, just as a fight fan, this will be a banger
Mm.
because um, again, both fighters, Zhang Weili and Rose, both of them throw hands. Although I don't think I've really seen Zhang Weili submit people, but I'm sure
She got ground game.
she has a ground game for
Yeah,
sure
she got
because
ground game.
she likes a side control pound.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Not that she don't like choke out or submit people. It's just her ground game finisher is just a little different than Thug Rose's. Because Thug
Right.
Rose, she if you're in the ground, she gonna try to submit you
Yeah.
either with her rear naked choke or she gonna try to break your arm.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm just glad that after Valentina fights, I get to watch a fight that's gonna be a banger that I don't have any strings attached. Because sometimes I honestly like living life that way sometimes. Like when we get to watch the NBA, I mean, as sad as it is, when we get to see our teams, when we don't get to see our teams reach the NBA finals or the Super Bowl, it's just sometimes fun to just watch you know, greatness unfold between two teams, two competitors at the highest level
Mm-hmm.
without having emotional attachment.
Yeah.
And you as a sports fan, you could relate because we witnessed too many events that are that's had a significant emotional attachment to us. And frankly, I hate it. I hate, living life as a sports fan like that. When people are like, bro, did you watch that game? It was such a close game. Yeah, bro, but the Mavs lost. I don't care. But
Yeah.
it was a classic. I don't care, bro. Was it a dub or an L? Then no. So sometimes I do like just watching, just for the fun of it. And, I'm excited. I'm more than excited for this one because because there's really no shame. Because with the Valentina fight, if Valentina loses, her legacy stock kind of goes down.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
With this Zhang Weili and Rose fight, ain't no shame if anybody loses, bro. Like they're all champions.
And they should probably run it back regardless of who wins, I think.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And so, I don't know, man. I'm gonna just say it's a draw. It'll be a draw. It'll be a draw. That'd be crazy. Just do it. Why not book it? It'll be a 5-round banger of both women's face, just
Hey, that could
blasting.
happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just run it back, bro. I mean, I don't know, bro. It's gonna be a banger. I don't know, bro. Anything can happen. This is probably, I don't know what the odds are. I haven't checked the Vegas the odds yet for betting, but actually, while you go,
Yeah.
um, I'll check the odds. But
Hmm.
I don't know. This is a toss up for me. This is a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em. I don't know. I don't know who'll win, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care who'll win. I just want to see a banger. So toss up, coin flip, whatever. If somebody makes the case for Rose, I won't deny it. Someone makes a case for Zhang Weili, I won't deny it, bro. Whatever. I'd be like, bro, be a man, pick. No, I can't. Just that's how close this fight is, in my opinion. Okay, there you go. Maybe I'll finally make a take just on this evidence, because
Okay.
I think sometimes when champions have that burden of their entire country on their shoulders, they just different, bro. You've seen it like everywhere, like especially in the UFC. You see it with Khabib in Russia. We saw it personally as children with Manny for the Philippines, and with Zhang Weili, and plus Loki. That's the storyline here, because Rose, she been saying some out of pocket comments that Zhang Weili's fighting for the
Yeah.
communists, like
Yeah.
because she's on that red side, and so Rose is
It's interesting
making it.
too because Rose is from Lithuania, and so like she's
Yeah, her last name Namajunas.
yeah.
It's almost like Valentunas.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I mean, yeah. I think now I'm leaning more towards the current champion, Zhang Weili, just because of that pressure, bro. Just that
Hmm.
pressure of having the weight of your country's shoulders. Just because with Rose, I mean, it's funny because I guess that's one thing for like American based fighters, is that like I don't know, is Rose an American citizen? I'd assume she's an
Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Yeah.
American citizen at this point. It's like there's so many great athletes from the United States that it's not like, hey, you, LeBron, like the weight of America rests
Yeah.
on your. It's like, no, bro, we could distribute it. Like Tom, you could have it. Tiger Woods, you could carry it. Serena, go carry some of that
Yeah.
burden.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
the weight
Yeah.
allocated. But with Zhang Wei, who else in China that really popping in the sports world? I mean, I don't know, bro.
I'm not sure.
Like I'm trying to think, like, and like the top of my head, and I can't really think of one.
Yeah. No.
But
I don't think there's anyone.
yeah, so I think just that pressure might just give her that little edge over Thug
Hmm.
Rose this weekend. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with Zhang Weili in whatever form, but just by like in a little edge out. It's even if like you know even if either fighter does destroy each other this first fight, run it back anyways,
Yeah.
because
I think
you
so.
know ain't nobody else there besides Joanna and maybe a couple of other people out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Zhang Weili, but barely. So let me check the odds as you give your thoughts on this fight.
Okay, yeah. And it's funny you brought up Joanna because that was gonna be my first point. Joanna's probably gonna be punching air the whole time she's watching this fight because she absolutely despises
Yep.
both of these girls, especially
Yep,
Rose.
for sure.
Um, so and that's I think that's similar to the Uriah and Weidman fight. They do have shared history in that they've both knocked out Joanna pretty bad. So that's something they both share in common.
Hmm.
For Rose, yeah, like I didn't really know much about her until the first time she beat Joanna a couple years back, became the
Hmm.
champion, and it was devastating to see her get dropped on her head
Yep.
against Andrade, um, which is maybe something Shevchenko might want to watch out for. Like, don't get slammed by because like Andrade got some crazy power.
Yeah, but I
But
don't know if she'll lift the
yeah,
Valentinus
that's the thing.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's whole different ball game there. But if she does, I'd be impressed. Um, but yeah, so Rose she's definitely a fan favorite. She's kind of like a woman of the people type. A lot of people really relate to her, and I can understand why. She's just like a she just seems like, like some dudes are just like they're just a regular dude. Rose just seems just like a regular gal.
I'm not
uh,
gonna lie though, like I ain't one to like criticize superficial features, but with that bald haircut, she'd be looking like Sid from Toy Story, bro. Like, and she got like the same like tooth and nose. I don't know. I don't want to I don't want to roast on Thug Rose because she
yeah,
will
yeah.
definitely whoop me. But dang, grow out your hair, woman. I don't know.
um, but yeah, so yeah, she's definitely a fan favorite. I really like both of these fighters. And then for Zhang Weili, I mean, that last fight with Joanna put her on the map as like one of the most feared people on this planet
Yeah,
because
I mean, she with fights like those, you're kind of cemented,
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
history
Like that
forever.
that fight is going in the Hall of Fame, like 100%. Um, and and it's not like Joanna had a bad fight either. It's just Zhang
Oh
Weili
yeah, no, that fight, Zhang
whooped on.
Weili. No. Zhang Weili versus Joanna could have honestly been a coin flip.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, I mean, Joanna lost by split decision, but she could have easily won split decision. It's
Hmm.
just it would be hard to give the win to somebody with a football on their
Yeah,
forehead.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's why, yeah.
So yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. But yeah, and you mentioned the weight of her country being on her. Definitely, like they were talking about in the build up, because I like to watch all those like countdown, the embedded, and the
Yeah,
anatomy
for
of a
sure.
fighter. Like that stuff gets me so hyped. Especially like I'll watch it during the day while I'm working, so it like brings more life to my work, or it gives me
Hmm.
something to like kind of keep me like awake and stuff. But they did talk about how like MMA and any type of fighting really isn't advertised much in China. But once Zhang Weili won the title, and granted she had been undefeated. She's I think undefeated her whole career, correct?
Yeah, I think she's like more than 20, over 20
Yeah,
wins.
something like that.
Oh,
Yeah. So like she has like a rich history, and it wasn't until she won the title that it became a huge thing in her country, and now she's like a big star and whatnot. And so I do think there is a big weight on her shoulder, carrying the MMA flag in her own country is a big deal. And I saw footage of her doing some kicking in practice, and she was literally just throwing like I think she was throwing kicks for a good like 3 minutes, just going super hard. And I was like, yo, she's insane. Like she's in the amount of power she was putting into it, like it never let up the whole time I was watching that video. So I definitely have a lot of respect for her. This fight is gonna be, I think, similar to I mean, like in the same way that like Joanna and Zhang Weili's fight was heavily contested, but also kind of like the Brandon Moreno and Davison Figueiredo fight where they were just like throwing bombs and like huge shots, and that was arguably one of the fights of the year last year. I think this is going to be the same thing where like you're just the whole time you're just like how are these two like standing, and then part of you is like because especially during that Figueiredo and Moreno fight I was like man I just want this to end now so that nobody like gets like some crazy injury or anything. So I think they're gonna let the I definitely want to see them let their hands fly, let them go. At the end of the day I think it goes to a decision, so I'm gonna say Zhang Weili by split decision.
yeah. I mean, you can't with these types of fights, especially between former champions, and also both, fighters at the peak of their careers. I don't know how, people can really make a clear cut decision. But I did check
Yeah.
out the odds. The odds aren't as bad as, I thought, Rose or Zhang Weili would be in the minus 100s, as a favorite, but she's a minus 210 favorite,
Okay.
almost 1 to 2, or on no, I don't even know how to do the negative ones, but Rose Namajunas is a plus 170, so you could
Okay.
almost get you get like a dollar 70 back from a dollar. So, but
Maybe I'll
I
put money
mean,
on her.
the Connor Dustin odds were um like Connor was favored more than this one. So,
Hmm.
and out of the three main title fights, um, Zhang Weili is the least favored um,
Okay,
champion. But I mean, she's a
it makes
favorite.
sense.
She's a favorite, but she's the least favorite out of all of
Yeah.
them. But yeah, moving on to the main event, I guess what majority of people will be tweeting about, majority of casual sports. This is what basically what, like, when Stephen A talks about UFC, this is gonna be the fight he'll talk
Hmm.
about.
Yeah.
Basically, the
He
Usman and
won't even
Masvidal.
know. He won't even know that Shevchenko and Zhang Weili
Yeah,
fought last.
yeah, yeah. Or he'll know Zhang Weili because he's made comments before about he don't
Okay.
like women fighting in MMA,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
combat sports in general. I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah. Yeah.
don't say that, but I guess I do understand where he's coming from. But bro, just if people want to throw hands, let them throw hands.
That's what I'm saying, and they're
But
good at it. So.
yeah. So the main event, the rematch, highly anticipated. Um, real, UFC and MMA fans are, they're whatever about, this main title fight because everybody, if you follow the UFC, especially in the welterweight division, you can just see that, it really doesn't make sense on paper why Masvidal is getting the rematch with
Nope.
Usman. But when you look at it on the different type of paper, like the social media interactions, the views on the YouTube vids and all that, Masvidal is just he's a name. He's a name that
Hmm.
people know and that people want to get behind and are interested in. And so it's not a surprise. Like, this is the money fight, and even if
Yeah.
you're a UFC champion, it's not like you get paid, millions of dollars. So why wouldn't Usman pick number one? Masvidal's the easiest fight out
Yeah.
of all the top five contenders,
Yeah.
and Masvidal's the biggest name out of all the five,
Yeah.
other contenders. Personally, I would have loved to see Usman give Wonder Boy a shot because Wonder Boy, out of the top five, he's the only one that hasn't gotten a crack at Usman. He's had a crack at title shot before against Woodley. It was some good fights. He almost, could have won one of them, but he hasn't fought Usman, and I would have liked to see Wonder Boy get that shot, but
Hmm.
I'm not complaining that it's Masvidal and Usman too again, because why would I complain, bro? I'm not one to complain. Comparison is the thief of joy, and I'm just here to accept. I'm just here to accept what is given to me by God and by Dana, and by the people, I guess, and by the matchmakers and odd givers, whatever. A part of me, this week I've been thinking, man, what if Masvidal really come out different and he just catches Kamaru? But I'm like, nah, man. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. Gilbert Burns probably the hardest hitter in the welterweight division, and
Hmm.
Usman took it, bro. So unless Masvidal lands a miraculous knee again, that Usman chin is like,
Yeah. I don't see that happening.
I don't know, bro. It's like the you might have to edit this out. It's like the United States troops, bro. That defense is, unbreakable. But yeah, no. As much as I would love to see, history being made, and I actually don't even, I like both guys.
Hmm.
Surprisingly, both dudes. Um, Masvidal's stock has gone down this past few months because of his affiliation with Jake Paul. So a lot of MMA fans have been
Well,
really.
and also a certain politician that he backed.
Oh yeah. I mean, bro, yeah, I don't know. I've always just liked Masvidal. Cause see, that's crazy how sometimes I'm willing to put aside certain things for people who don't like share the same viewpoints as me.
Right.
I
Right.
just like them as like, I don't know. Basically, if you're funny to me, it'll come a long way, man.
Yeah.
Like Sorry, my bar is low, people. Don't cancel me because I'm a fan of funny things. And I just view Masvidal as a funny guy, and I don't know, I like them. Even after he whooped my boy Nate and whatnot, I like Jorge, man. And so, and Usman, he's probably the least like champion. Well, no, not anymore since Aljamain Sterling's a champ.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But aside from Aljo, Usman is pretty hated on as a champion. People give credit to give respect and credit to his skills, his abilities, but from what I've read, a lot of people just find him corny, and I could get why.
It's understandable.
I could get it because sometimes he does give off like an old uncle, like an old uncle vibe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I like Hamaru.
Me
He
too.
fights out of Dallas, so it gives
He
me
does,
a
yeah.
more I guess I'll have when you're from Dallas, obviously when you have you know sharing attachments, you tend to root for somebody
Mm.
that's have the same attachments as you. But I personally, don't mind if either fighter wins. I'm just glad that I'm gonna get to enjoy it. But I don't know. Usman says he wants to break Masvidal, but I don't know. I think Masvidal is a little better on striking, but then again,
Yeah.
Usman's chin. That's what I'm saying. It's the chin, bro. It's not that you know Masvidal won't hit him. It's just will Masvidal hit him hard enough?
Mm-hmm.
Because bro, he was eating those Gilbert Burns
Yeah.
like straight rights, hooks,
Yeah.
you name it, bro. Usman was just come on, like, bro. He built like he's like a linebacker. He's like a strong
Yeah.
safety.
No, for real.
And so um as far as the fight goes, maybe I'll believe it that, it won't just be a stomp match and you know, hopefully it won't be like like not like Kevin Holland's last two fights that it's just like grappling on the ground. But if it
Yeah.
is, yeah, then that just means Jorge needs to work on his ground game more. But we'll see. But I think regardless, Masvidal still wins. Maybe via decision again. Decision
Masvidal?
again.
You
All
mean
right, not
Usman?
Usman. I'm
I was about
tripping.
to say.
I'm tripping, bro. Why I always do that? Yeah, Kamaru takes it, bro. They ain't gonna be. It's still gonna be end still.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
there's levels to it. Like I just don't see like Jorge presenting any type of problems that
Mm-hmm.
Usman hasn't seen before, bro. Usman's gone.
Yeah.
What else? He's fought against Colby, arguably the other best welterweight in
Yeah.
the division.
Yeah.
He beat Woodley at Woodley's own game, and Woodley's a more equipped fighter than Masvidal.
Mm-hmm.
And
He beat Edwards
Burns,
too, right?
yeah, Edwards, but that was when Edwards was a little younger. I think Liam
Okay.
Edwards is a little better now, and I would like to
Oh yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah.
Honestly, after this, there's a lot of things that could happen for welterweight, the
Mm-hmm.
welterweight division.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But I think Usman's the champ, bro. He's the champ for a reason. Welterweight win streak record, one of the all-time welterweight greats. It's just hard to see him lose against someone like Jorge Masvidal, who's
Yeah.
been, you know, who's been noted as a one-dimensional fighter,
Yeah.
a quote-unquote journeyman, things like that. So, yeah, with this one, I'm gonna just go with what my brain says, and it's gonna be Usman. Um, any type of fashion, it wouldn't really surprise me. But I'll give Jorge the respect, and I don't think Masvidal will be finished, but he will lose.
Okay. Yeah, I agree, and obviously not to. 'Cause I know we've talked about this before. Like you never want to count out anybody in the UFC, and this isn't necessarily us counting out Masvidal, but it's just being confident in how good. Like Usman is just that good
Yeah,
that I don't
love
see.
him or hate him, Usman,
Yeah,
he's proven time and time that
exactly. I
he's that
think
guy.
what makes this fight a little different, we talked about crowds at the very beginning. I think if any fight is going to be affected most, it's going to be the crowd that's pro Masvidal. I think obviously Usman can handle the pressure because he's been hated like ever since he's been the champ. So he's used to being in sold out arenas where people are booing him. But it's been a minute, right? And I think he's had I guess it's just the one fight. No, he's fought twice now, in the pandemic era. And so with a crowd coming back, I think there's going to be a lot more pressure because from the crowd, going from Masvidal. But I don't think it's anything that Usman can't handle.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I mean, I personally like Usman. I think before, for a while, I did the whole like corny thing, but I came around on Usman when he fought Colby, just because he just, I don't know. There's a likable quality when you watch Usman, not in the press conference stuff, but just like whenever he's being interviewed by himself or like they're following
Bro,
him
no,
around.
like Usman, like he to me, I majority of the UFC fighters I like are based on like their charismatic
Yeah.
skills, if they're funny or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think Usman has any of those, but I do like him because he reminds me of like a stereotypical, like if there's like an anime you watch and it's like a team anime, he literally embodies like a team captain. Like he
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
literally
yeah,
has
yeah,
like
yeah.
team captain qualities.
Yeah.
Like
He's very
or like
stoic. Yeah.
yeah, like or if it was Game of Thrones, like he's handling like one of like the cities, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah.
gonna be in the Night's Watch as like the main Lord Commander or
Yeah.
something. But like Usman's just that like yeah, like he's that guy. Like bro, he reminds me of responsible older brother. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
don't pick up yes. Like basically all those stereotypical about like the responsible and like I don't know, like yeah, like that's just how I see Usman. It
Yeah,
ain't
yeah.
bad. It ain't bad, but it's just funny how like a lot of people see him as that. Like
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't mind him, man. I love. I'm always just inspired by any champion because I don't know, man. People just don't realize what it takes to be a champion. I'm not one to say I'm not here as a former champion of anything. Well, I am. I'm a three-time intramural all-campus at UNT for
There you
ultimate
go. There you go.
frisbee, um, indoor soccer, and no, I guess I'm just a two-time. But no, if you're like at the highest stage, bro, being a champion at the highest stage, people don't understand that. Like, and so, um, I never go against or doubt any champions because, um, there's just levels to it. And as much as I love Masvidal, Usman, there's just levels to it. I know it's corny because that's what everybody says, like, but
Yeah.
it's true, bro. Up
It is
until
true.
it's like and only true more with Usman because the dude has a freaking chin, bro.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, if it was like Cody Garbrandt, who's like a good fighter, but he has a glass jaw, like
Yeah.
it makes sense. But Usman, bro, dude's been rocked. Like he's
Mhm.
been rocked.
Mhm.
Like so, you know, nothing. I've seen it all, and I think the guy's seen it all. And yeah, it might be easy work for Usman, bro.
Yeah, I think so too, yeah. So I'm gonna say, just because you can tell Usman, like, besides Colby, this is like the next guy that he hates the most. Like
Oh
he
yeah,
like
for sure, for sure.
Usman won't have many good things to say about Masvidal
Yeah, no,
after
no,
this
no,
fight.
no, no. I guess that's one thing. It's funny because we've seen a bunch of great fights the past year, but unlike any other years, there hasn't really been bad blood fights. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
I think the only one was the Izzy and Costa fight.
Yeah, yeah.
But other than that, there hasn't really been some
I
personal.
mean, Stipe and Cormier.
Nah, I mean that wasn't really like personal like beef.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
just
It
that's
was
like
more yeah.
that's a legacy fight. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
because DC and Stipe don't hate each other. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
bros, Costa and Izzy. Like they've been and they still talking mess. And so,
Yeah, I know.
um, but for this one, there's definitely, in the first fight there was a little bit of like mutual respect, but I think ever since then respect is still there, but it's like ain't like
Yeah,
Masvidal or Usman. They're not one to repeat those things again. So it's like
exactly.
now it's straight up. I kind of like it though. You could just feel it. Sometimes less is more, and during their face off, it could have been
Yeah.
like trendy, and they could have pushed each other and yak, but the fact that they were just both like killer straight, death staring each other,
Yeah.
I like that more. Like, cause that just shows that, hey man, the talking is done.
Mm-hmm.
It's work time now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pumped, but I'll definitely be stressed during some moments. But one thing for sure is I'll enjoy this weekend for sure. I mean, I get excited over a regular UFC fight night anyway, so a banger card, 3 title
Yeah.
fights, live audience. I cannot wait. So
Gonna be
I'm pumped.
fun.
I can't wait. You're pumped, and it'll
Uh-huh.
just be a blessing to witness history once again for free. Thank you, America. But yeah, go ahead and close off the show, and we get out of here. But last words, we're finishing before midnight. It's been a stressful week. We're finishing up NBA fantasy playoffs soon. The regular season's ending for me and JQ's league. Daryl's also in our league, but I'm also in another league with Pow, and playoffs started, and we did some dirty things, and I've been leading high scorer this week in
That's
the
right.
ESPN league. I'm going against Kirby, the number one seed, 14-2. Kirby, 14-2 regular season record, bro.
Are you winning?
And and I'm 8-8, barely made the playoffs the last week, and I've been beating him by 200 every game. He has Sabonis out, he got Miles Turner out. It's just been a gift sent from God, but I got to keep pushing. I got to keep making those roster changes throughout the week and keep using the adding acquisitions to my advantage. But it's been good so far. But last time, Kirby, like last week, like he was getting beat, and he basically got the second highest score of the week. He just lost to the first scorer, and he only
Oh, that's
lost
the
by
worst.
10. He lost, so I'm scared. I'm
That's the
scared.
worst.
I'm scared, so I can't, put my head down. I got to keep pushing. But also important matchup this week. I was facing JQ. I'm one of the 3 teams fighting for the last season, the last spot of the playoffs. The other one is his brother, and another person is his brother from another mother. So it was, this was an important week in our league with me, JQ, and Daryl. But I guess God's so far, you know I don't know. I don't want to, get too happy, but let's just say God has made it a little more possible this week with JQ's team being a little more hurt. And
I
so
am.
the
Yeah.
projection changed a little,
It
but
changed a
each
lot,
day,
actually. It
yeah,
changed a
but
lot.
each day you've been just kind of like, there's only been a 15-point difference each game.
Yeah.
And that's usually important in our league.
Jeremy Grant, bro, why are you taking games? Like, come back and play.
It's all good. We'll see, because Porzingis just hurt his ankle, so I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
if I'll
Not to
have him.
celebrate injuries, but
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
So I don't know if I'll have him for the rest of the week, but me and JQ are fighting for important things this week. He's already in the playoffs, but he's fighting for seeding, and
Hmm.
the seeding for that actually matters, bro.
It's
Like,
important.
it's
It's
so
important.
huge. It's so huge. So I'm excited to see what happens with our fantasy league after this weekend and into the playoffs. And it's just crazy. A lot is on the line this weekend for us. Even though we're not fighting, we're fighting for something else. We're not fighting physically
Right.
against one another, but there are things we are competing for.
There's a
So I guess
competition
in a
going.
way, this is our pay per view this weekend as well, and
Yeah.
it'll just be exciting for everybody. But once again, I'm pumped for UFC 261, first sold out show in America since COVID, changed lives forever. But I'm excited. JQ's excited. I know the world's excited, and we'll just have this out for y'all right before the prelims, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, it's been great evening. Probably one of our better episodes, honestly, just because I love all my other co-hosts, but I mean, it really just me talking half the time, and I like it when I just listen to one other person instead of three. And
Yeah.
it's just more time efficient, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
there's, just boom, 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 we go, get the job done, get to the meat, and here we go. So do your
Yeah. I
closing
was
words.
actually thinking about that when I did the WrestleMania predictions with Daryl. because we thought we were gonna breeze through it, and we ended up going hour 20 or something like that.
Yeah, no,
But
same
I
thing
was like,
happened.
yeah, and I was like, I really enjoyed it because Daryl actually talked a lot. So that doesn't happen as much on
Yeah,
our
honestly,
four-man
we
shows.
should probably just start. I mean, you know how our mantra was always, all or nothing for us, but
Yeah.
at this point, we've established, camaraderie, a fan base, you know, some friction, when it comes to interaction. So, if the large guys, just decided to have, part-time players, I'm not even opposed to it because it's just how we can move out content. And yeah,
Hmm.
for me personally, I like it too. We ain't really had like off the bat we knew that Daryl and Powell weren't about it, and
Oh,
so
they didn't even respond
yeah,
in
for
the
sure.
group.
But yeah, bro, you just keep doing it, and
For
it's
sure,
been
yeah.
good.
And so yeah, to close this out, of course, subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Although Apple Podcasts, if you heard about the whole new stuff with Apple, might be a little different. We can talk about that at a different time.
Yeah, I don't know
But
what's going on.
we're also on Spotify. We are have just recently been added to Google Podcasts. So hey, another
Oh shit,
platform to
hey,
be on.
bro, we everywhere. Hey, don't forget we're on Twitter, Instagram, and we have an
Yes, yeah,
email account. So
yeah. Follow us on our socials. Thank you guys for watching this. We will be back maybe this weekend or beginning of next week for the I keep saying Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it's just the Falcon. The Falcon and Winter Soldier review. We're gonna review the whole season. It's coming out tonight at 2 a.m. Not gonna lie, I might be, right after this taking a couple
damn
hours of
son.
nap just to wake up at 2.
I be
You know how
thinking
it goes.
about that, but because currently me and Pal watch Snowfall, and it's also the same. But it's 3 a.m. on Hulu,
Oh
and
my gosh.
sometimes I'm like, man, should I do it? I'm like, nah, bro, just go to sleep. Just go to
Yeah,
sleep.
it's like yeah, you can wake up at 8 and it'll
Yeah,
still be fine.
bro.
Like
Because no, I feel that because I've been doing that for the Falcon and Winter Soldier episodes, like Friday morning. By Friday evening, I've watched,
hmm
and but episode 5, I took a couple of days to let it fly, just so like I have something in my back pocket to watch, and it was actually good because I was like, dang, I ain't got nothing. And I was like, oh, the new episode I haven't seen, and it's actually because sometimes we be consuming these treats off the bat,
That's true. That's
and
true.
but nothing wrong with that. But I do like having to wait for shows now too. Because sometimes we're always binging stuff, and don't get me wrong, I love it, but there is still something about like waiting for something every
Yeah,
week, and I
I know what you
forgot that,
mean.
and I forgot that feeling because like I've been spoiled, I've been binge, like basically all the greatest shows I binge watched in one take. And
Hmm.
but with the Disney Marvel shows upcoming, and then with Snowfall, I was actually been waiting new episodes every week, and I forgot how that felt like, and it took me back, and I
Yeah,
kind of like it. It's funny how like that's like our struggle, like
I know. I know.
we have to wait a week for a new episode for a show. It's, man, America, this
I
world,
know.
man.
I know.
But
Yeah. But yeah, if you're listening to this and you haven't watched yet, you should watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. We'll be back with a review at some point, most likely, like especially because Daryl been taking his time watching the shows. I
for
think he's
sure.
I think he's gonna be caught up soon. But maybe like Monday or Tuesday we'll do that. So be on the lookout for that if you're excited and you're a big Marvel fan like us. And until then, go watch UFC 261. Enjoy a banger of a card. It's gonna be a big one. 3 title fights on ESPN Plus or other platforms that might be available to
We're
you.
not advocating, but
Yeah, not advocating, but there are other avenues there. But regardless, we'll see you guys next time. Peace out. God bless y'all.